Shalom, my friend. You have a security system, right? You have a lock on your door. Maybe you have a camera. Maybe you have a dog. You lock your doors at night to keep the robbers out. You do this to protect your television, your jewelry, and your cash. But I am here to tell you that you are letting the most dangerous thieves in the world walk right through your front door, sit on your couch, eat your food, and destroy your financial future. And the worst part, you are inviting them in. You are making them coffee. You are calling them friends or family. Today we are going to have a very hard conversation about the spiritual hygiene of your home. We are going to talk about the laws of sanctuary. The Zohar teaches that your home is your malchut, your kingdom. It is the vessel where the light of God rests. If the vessel is pure, the light turns into wealth, peace, and health. If the vessel is contaminated, the light turns into judgment, chaos, and debt. The contamination does not come from the dirt on the floor. It comes from the people you allow into your space. There are three specific types of people, three spiritual archetypes that act as wealth drains. When they enter your home, they are not just taking up space. They are puncturing holes in your spiritual gas tank. You wake up the next day tired. You lose a deal. Your car breaks down. You fight with your wife. And you think it's bad luck. No, it is the residue of the person who was sitting in your living room last night. I am Rabbi Boaz, the Torah life strategist, and today we are going to learn how to be the bouncer of your own life. We are going to identify the three energy vampires that you must ban permanently from your private space. This is not about being mean. This is about survival. If you are building an empire, your home is your fortress. You cannot allow spies, saboteurs, or carriers of spiritual plague into the fortress. Let's get into the deep dark. To understand why this is so dangerous, we have to understand the concept of Reshat HaYachid, the private domain. In the Torah, there is the public domain, the street, and the private domain, the home. The public domain is the realm of the klippot, the shells, the chaos, the mixture of good and evil. The private domain is the realm of kedusha, holiness, order, and intimacy. When you cross the threshold of your home, you are entering a sanctuary. The mezuzah on your door is the border guard. It is supposed to filter out the negativity. But the mezuzah cannot stop a person you invite. You have free will. If you invite the Sitra Atrad, the other side, into your home, the mezuzah says, okay, you are the boss. And once they are inside, they have access to your shefa, your flow. Think of your home like a sterile operating room. You are the surgeon. You are performing open-heart surgery on your destiny. Would you let a guy covered in mud walk into the operating room? No. You would scream, get out. You'll kill the patient. But you let people covered in spiritual mud walk into your home every weekend. And then you wonder why your financial heart stops beating. Let's identify the first intruder. Person number one, the complainer, the Baal Lashon Hara. This is the person who walks into your house and immediately unloads their garbage. They sit on your couch and they start. Can you believe what she did? My boss is an idiot. The economy is terrible. My back hurts. The government is corrupt. They complain about their spouse. They gossip about your mutual friends. They dump. You sit there nodding, trying to be a good friend. You think you are just listening. You think it's harmless venting. You are dead wrong. In Kabbalah, speech is not air. Speech is creation. Baruch She'amar V'Haya HaOlam, blessed is he who spoke and the world came into being. Words create reality. When a person speaks Lashon Hara, evil speech or negativity in your home, they are physically painting your walls with spiritual toxic waste. The walls absorb the sound. The furniture absorbs the frequency. The prophet Habakkuk said, the stone from the wall will cry out. The walls record everything. When this person leaves, they feel great. Why? Because they dumped their load. They transferred their heavy, chaotic energy onto you and your house. They leave light as a feather, but you feel exhausted. The atmosphere in the house feels heavy. Suddenly, you and your wife start arguing about nothing. Why? Because the frequency of matchlocket, conflict, is hanging in the air. This person is a wealth blocker because wealth requires a frequency of simka, joy, and bitachin, trust. The complainer operates on the frequency of lack and victimhood. When you allow that frequency to dominate your living room, you are tuning your home's antenna to the poverty station. You cannot receive the wealth signal when your jammer is running. I had a client, a wealthy real estate developer. He had a brother-in-law who was a chronic complainer. Every Shabbat dinner, this brother-in-law would come over and complain for 3 hours about his failures. My client's business started tanking. Deals were falling through. I went to his house. I felt the heaviness. I told him, "Your brother-in-law is banned." He said, "I can't do that, he's family." I said, "Do you want to support him with charity because you're rich, or do you want to join him in poverty?" He banned him. Or rather, he met him at restaurants only, never in the house. Within 30 days, the peace returned. The deals came back. Your house is not a dumpster. Do not let people use it as a landfill. Person number 2, the envious, the ayin hara. This one is the most dangerous because they are silent. This is the scanner. They walk into your house and their eyes move. They look at your new TV. They look at your renovations. They look at your jewelry. They look at how happy your kids are. But they don't say, "Wow, I'm so happy for you," with a full heart. They say, "Must be nice." Or they say, "Wow, that's expensive. I could never afford that." Or they say nothing at all. They just look with a cold, flat stare. This is the ayin hara, the evil eye. The Zohar teaches that the eyes transmit energy. There is a concept called hezek reya, damage by seeing. In Jewish law, you are not allowed to build a window that looks directly into your neighbor's window because your gaze can physically damage his privacy and his property. When an envious person looks at your possessions, they are projecting a beam of din, strict judgment. They are asking the heavenly court, "Why does he deserve this? I work harder. I am better. Why him?" This creates a spiritual audit. As soon as they leave, the Satan, the accuser, opens a file on you. Let's check if he really deserves that new TV. Let's check if he really deserves that happy marriage. Suddenly, the TV breaks. Suddenly, the marriage hits a rock. The envious person collapses your quantum wave of blessing. They shrink your expansion. You can feel these people. You feel the need to apologize for your success when they are around. You feel the need to hide things. You feel uncomfortable. That is your intuition, your Bina, screaming at you. Intruder, shields up. If you let this person into your sanctuary, you are inviting the audit. You are inviting the destroyer. A person who cannot celebrate your success is not a friend. They are a competitor disguised as a companion. And you do not let competitors into the corporate headquarters to look at the blueprints. Keep them out. Meet them at a coffee shop. Keep your door closed. If they ask to see your new renovation, say, "It's messy right now." Lie if you have to. Protecting your blessing is more important than politeness. Ein ha-baracha sharuya, blessing is only found in that which is hidden from the eye. Whose eye? The eye of the envious. If you invite the eye in, you chase the blessing out. Person number 3, the ungrateful, the kafui tav. This is the person who eats your food, drinks your wine, enjoys your hospitality, and leaves without a genuine thank you. They act entitled. They treat your home like a hotel and you like the staff. In Judaism, there is a concept called hakarat hatav, recognizing the good. It is the foundation of all abundance. Why? Because the flow of abundance is a circle. God gives to you, you give gratitude back, the channel widens, God gives more. It is a loop. When you host someone, you become the mashpia, the giver, and they are the mekibel, the receiver. When they eat your food, they are elevating the sparks of that food. When they say thank you or recite a blessing, they complete the circuit. They return the energy to you in the form of honor and blessing. This strengthens your home. But the ungrateful person, they take the energy and they sever the cord. They are a black hole. They consume but do not emit. This creates a vacuum of lack in your home. They eat your bread, which represents your livelihood, and they offer no blessing in return. This is spiritually known as jezel, theft. They are stealing the life force of your house. You might think, "Rabbi, it's just a dinner." It is never just a dinner. A table is an altar. Shulchan dome el mizbech. Your dining table is the holy altar of the temple. The food is the sacrifice. You are the high priest. The guest is the participant. If the participant eats the sacrifice and spits on the altar by being ungrateful or entitled, they desecrate your temple. They bring the energy of kefira, denial. Denial of the good is the root of all poverty, because if you cannot recognize the good of your host, you cannot recognize the good of God. A person who is ungrateful to people will be ungrateful to Hashem. God does not give wealth to ingrates. If you have a friend who comes over, puts their feet on the table, criticizes the food, or just leaves without acknowledging the effort you made, ban them. They are draining your shefa. They are creating a leak in your spiritual plumbing. You need people in your house who amplify your light, not swallow it. You want the guest who says, "Wow, this home is beautiful. May God bless you with more." That blessing is real currency. That blessing adds zeros to your bank account. The ungrateful person subtracts them. Now I know what you are thinking. Rabbi, these people are my family. They are my childhood friends. I can't just lock them out. Listen to me. You are the CEO of your life. If you had an employee who was stealing from the register, the ungrateful, leaking trade secrets, the envious, or poisoning the office culture, the complainer, would you keep them because we went to kindergarten together? No, you would fire them. Your home is more important than your business. Your home is the source of your business. If the source is polluted, the river will be toxic. You don't have to announce you are banned. You don't have to cause a scene. You use the distance protocol. You become busy. You meet them in neutral territory. You stop extending the invite. You protect the Daled Amat, the 4 cubits of your personal space. Now let's talk about the cleanup. Maybe you are watching this and realizing, oh no, I had all 3 of these people over for a party last night. Your house feels heavy, the air feels thick. You need to perform a spiritual fumigation. You need to reset the frequency of the sanctuary. Here is the protocol for cleansing the home after an invasion. Step 1, the air exchange. Open every window in the house. I don't care if it's freezing outside. Open them for 10 minutes. The ruach, the wind spirit, needs to circulate. Stagnant air holds stagnant energy. Let the wind of God blow through the house to push out the hevel vapor of their negativity. Step 2, the salt eraser. We talked about salt in the wallet, but salt is also for the floor. The Zohar says negative forces stick to the ground. They are heavy. Take sea salt, sprinkle it in the corners of the room where the negative person sat. Leave it for 24 hours. The salt acts as a sponge. It absorbs the din, judgment. After 24 hours, sweep it up and flush it down the toilet. Do not put it in the kitchen trash. Flush it. Get it out of your domain. You are physically removing the residue of their envy. Step 3, the light override. Light conquers darkness. Mat minha or dach harbe minha chashich. A little bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. Light a candle in the room where they were, but not just any candle. Light it with intention. Say, I light this flame to purify this space. I reclaim this territory for Kedusha. I banish all jealousy, all complaint, and all ingratitude. The fire burns up the spiritual oxygen of the Sitra Atra. Step 4, the sound frequency. Play Torah, play Psalms, or play happy music in that room. Fill the void. The complainer filled the room with words of death. You must overfill it with words of life. Do not leave the room silent after they leave, or the echo of their complaints will linger. Overwrite the file. Record over the tape. Now I want to address the guilt. You feel guilty. You feel like a bad person for closing your door. Abraham Avenue, our father Abraham, his tent was open on all 4 sides. He welcomed everyone. Yes, Abraham welcomed everyone, but who were the guests? Angels, or people he wanted to convert to monotheism. And when the angels came, he ran to serve them. But do you know who Abraham didn't let live in his house? Lot. When Lot's shepherds started causing trouble, Abraham said, "Separate from me. If you go left, I go right." He drew a boundary. Do you know who else he didn't let stay? Ishmael. When Ishmael started being a negative influence on Isaac, Sarah said, "Cast out this slave woman and her son." And God told Abraham, "Listen to her voice." The Torah teaches boundaries just as much as it teaches hospitality. Hospitality is for guests who bring holiness or who need help that you can safely give. It is not for parasites who destroy your peace. Protecting your environment is a mitzvah. It is the mitzvah of Shmirat HaNefesh, guarding your soul. If you are depressed, drained, and anxious because of your guests, you cannot serve God. You cannot work. You cannot be a good husband or father. You have sacrificed your primary duties for the sake of being nice. Being nice is not a Jewish value. Being kind, chest, is a value. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is keep toxic people away from you so you don't resent them. Distance creates respect. Closeness with the wrong people breeds contempt. Let's go deeper into the mechanism of the wall. Your walls are not just drywall and paint. They are your spiritual skin. When you buy a house or rent an apartment, you perform a Chanukat HaBayit, a dedication of the home. You dedicate the walls to God. You are saying, "These walls will only hear Torah, joy, and gratitude." When you let the complainer in, you are violating that dedication. You are desecrating your own altar. Imagine you have a beautiful white tablecloth. You let a guest come in with muddy boots and put them on the table. Who is to blame, the guest for being rude, or you for letting him do it and saying nothing? You are the guardian. God gave you the keys. If you lose the wealth, if the shefa stops flowing, you cannot blame the thief. You have to blame the security guard who was sleeping on the job. Wake up. Stand at the door. Look at the people in your life. Audit your circle. Who leaves you feeling energized? Who leaves you feeling drained? Who claps when you win? Who goes silent when you win? Who brings a gift, even a small one? Who comes empty-handed every time? The signs are there. You have been ignoring them because you are afraid of being alone. But I tell you, it is better to be alone in a fortress of peace than to be crowded in a prison of chaos. Solitude is the breeding ground of billionaires. Chaos is the breeding ground of victims. Clear the room. Create the vacuum. When you remove the complainer, you make space for the mentor. When you remove the envious, you make space for the partner. When you remove the ungrateful, you make space for the blessing. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you clear the trash, God will bring the treasure. But he cannot bring the treasure if the room is already full of garbage. You have to make the first move. This is the law of Itharuta Dilatata, the awakening from below. You move below, God moves above. You close the door to the negative, God opens the windows of heaven. It is a direct correlation. Stop trying to outturn your energy leaks. You can make $1 million a month, but if you have a $10 million hole in your spiritual bucket, you will still be broke. Patch the hole. Lock the door. Change the locks if you have to. Your wealth is waiting for you to create a safe place for it to land. The Shechina wants to dwell with you, but she is shy. She will not dwell in a house of loud complaints, jealous eyes, and ungrateful hearts. She waits at the door. She knocks. She says, "Can I come in? Is it safe?" Make it safe. Make it holy. Make it yours. Look at your contact list today. Look at your calendar for next week. Who is coming over? Cancel the ones who drain you. Make an excuse. "I'm working on a big project. I'm not feeling well." It's not a lie. You are working on a big project, your life, and you will not feel well if they come. Protect your peace like a mother bear protects her cubs. Your peace is the incubator of your wealth. Without peace, the money is just paper. With peace, the money is power. I want you to take this seriously. This is not just social advice. This is spiritual warfare. The enemy does not come with a sword. He comes with a smile and a complaint. He comes with a friendly visit and a jealous eye. Be vigilant, be strong, be the king of your castle. I am Rabbi Boaz. Your soul is the blueprint. Your life is the construction. Now go lock the door. Shalom.